Okay, welcome to Positivity is the Way to Go. He is a health and transformation educator, author, speaker, TV podcast host, and founder of Body Synthesize. Welcome our guest today, Tavares A.Garrett. How's it going? How's morale, man?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. Happy to represent the body synthesis and to be in the space with you, Devin, to talk about, how positivity is always a great thing to lead with. So hope you're having a great day.
Well, you reached out first, so you reached out and you wanted to come on. So, I'm like, man, let's make it happen.
Well, I reached out because I'm currently on a speaking tour at the called Change Your Language, Change Your Life. And so I've been on this campaign for a while. I did a lot of campaigning last year, a lot of speaking engagements. So I thought I'd circle back around to not only some familiar podcasts that I was fortunate enough to work with, but some new ones like yourself. So that
Well, I'm a growing podcast of ours, and I also need your help, man. We got to get the 500 subscribers, man. So help a brother out, man. Help me get some these subscribers up, man, and
well,
views.
I know right now for myself, I don't really put too much weight on subscribers and views and all that. What I do is I focus on making the content. I focus on being off,
Okay,
focus on being organic.
okay.
That's what I focus on. So there's no one way or no specific way to obtain followers and viewers because I don't gauge my worth or my value based on that. That stuff is kind of like it's just a part of the equation. It's like
Yeah,
if you're out in the rain,
yeah,
you're gonna get wet. And so I focus on instead of focusing on the rain, I focus on being comfortable. I focus on being prepared. And so I'm
yeah,
a firm believer in if we continue to show up and do what we're supposed to do based on our own journey, our own beliefs, then yeah, you will be able to run up the followers, the subscriptions, the numbers. Because here's the thing: once you have all these subscribers, once you have all these followers, what are you going to do with it? That becomes the question. See, people often forget about that part of the equation. Okay, let's say you do have 2 million followers. Let's say today I brought you 5 million followers today. What you going to do with it? How are you going to actually use that to better your situation right now, whether it's financially, emotionally, mentally, physically? Like, what are you going to do with 5 million viewers right now? Chances are you may or may not know because you don't have it. And we don't focus enough on what we're doing in the moment when we want certain things. I'm a podcaster too. I'm a radio show host. I'm a television host. I've done a lot of great things in my life. So now that I'm in a space where I'm a health educator and a transformation strategist, this is what I help people to refocus on. We want to focus on the giant within, Devin. We don't want to focus on all these external things and stuff that don't really drive it home for who you are at your core, the same way they don't drive it home for me and who I am at my core. So the grass is only greener where we water it. Okay, it's not always going to be greener on the other side, especially if we're not putting any water, time, or effort, or no nutrient value into the other side of that lawn. So I love the fact that you're like, yo, come on, help me run the numbers up, help me do this, get subscribers. That's cool. But again, what are you going to do with them once you have them? Are you going to build your brand more? Are you going to monetize them? If so, how are you going to do that? So this is why I focus on
that, that,
what
that,
we do.
that is an interesting question of ours. Right now, I don't have the answer to that.
Exactly. So if I'm going to run up numbers for you and you don't know what you're going to do about it or with it, let's go ahead and refocus that
Okay.
attention. We gotta refocus the target because again,
Yeah.
if I give you 5 million viewers right now, I'm just giving you 5 million viewers. But what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
How are you gonna use
Well,
that
I'm,
to
I'm,
sustain your
I'm, I'm, I'm gonna continue to build the brand. That's what I'm gonna do. And get
okay,
some endorsement
but,
deals and land into some commercial, man.
but how are you gonna do
I'll be in a Kraft mac and cheese commercial, on TV.
with 5 million viewers? With 5 million viewers, you might be lucky to make about $200 a month on YouTube. Real
Yeah,
talk,
hey,
real
some
talk.
better than none, as they say. Some better than none.
I mean, I get it, but we gotta have more than just the viewers, the subscribers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you measure your greatness? Do you measure your greatness based on your likes, based on your followers? I don't, because
No.
I'm focused on what I have to do to be a better version of me. See, that to me is where the gold really is, Devin. When we spend more time focusing on ourselves, I believe that all that we're focusing on, because attention flows where attention goes, or energy flows where attention goes. So we got to be
Yeah.
careful or directing said attention, because we're going to be giving it that energy. So this is why I'm like, hey, if I continue to work on myself and I believe in all that I'm doing and all that I'm touching and all that I'm a part of, right, then I believe that that is what's going to show up more around me. For example, as a health educator, I often talk about self-awareness, self-love, self-accountability, all these things that really we should be pouring into ourselves, because a lot of us want to go outside of ourselves,
Yeah.
ask other people, oh, give me this, give me that, or can you do this, can you do that? But the real question is, what you're asking others to do for you, are you willing to ask that of yourself? Now that is where, if you're asking me, that is where the gold is. Because a lot of
Well,
people, they're comfortable, and nothing wrong with asking people for help. Nothing wrong. I'm here for it. But we got to be mindful that there are certain individuals, they're only going to help us if we're helping ourselves. And they're going to be looking for that effort all the time, not some of the time, all the time. Anyone that I work with, I'm always looking at their level of adherence. In other words, their ability to stay locked in. If they're not looking to stay locked in and I give them a plan, well, then we got to regroup, because your level of adherence is going to speak loud to your ability to stick to the program. And really, in order to get the results that you want, we got to stick to the program, Devin. You dig what I'm saying? You're mute. You're on mute.
yeah, Devin, my name is Dion, not Devin.
So
Tavares.
what is it? Dion. Sorry.
Yeah,
Dion, everyone. My bad. I've been corrected. It is
I
Dion.
know. I was at Wright College, and this lady named Elizabeth called me Devin for 2.5 years. And,
My bad. I'm
and
sorry, big
I
dog.
used it. I got people that text me, they text DION, and I be like, that is not my name, you know?
My bad, big dog. My bad. So
It's okay.
I
So
love
let's
it.
get started
Go
with
ahead.
the interview.
It's all
So
good.
what was the specific moment of clarity that shifted your path from self-destruction to healing?
Oh man. The exact moment was several years ago. It was a Sunday afternoon. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was having a very bad day. Um, and I needed someone to talk to. My wife had just left the house. It was a Sunday again. I had the whole day to myself at the house. And I was just struggling within. And so what I did was I turned on the voice memo feature on my iPhone, and I just began talking. And once I really found myself so vulnerable in this space, I just stuck with it. And I found that there was so much empowerment in me being vulnerable in that moment. And I tell you, 11 years later, or 11 seasons later, I have my own podcast, Living Your Truth with Tavares. That's relevant because I wasn't looking to create a podcast. I was looking for relief, emotional relief, mental relief. I was looking for just a space to land. You know what I'm saying? And it was difficult. And so that was the turning point. I had found myself just in this space where I just wanted to make something new happen for myself. And I knew that I had to dig deep. Just this past Friday, I celebrated 12 years no alcohol. And so it took a long time for me to get there. A lot of people think when you stop drinking and drugging, all of a sudden you're all good. And in my case, that was when the real work began. So on that Sunday afternoon, that was like 2000, maybe 21. And like I said, we've done 11 seasons so far since then. But that's how it started, Dion. It started with me having a bad day. It started with me being accountable, being self aware, and being willing to love myself in a very uncomfortable moment. It was a very uncomfortable day for me. I am okay with reaching out for help, but this wasn't that. This was something that was a lot deeper. This was something that I had perhaps been pushing away for a while, and I finally came face to face with it, Dion, and I came face to face with myself. And so that is what allowed me to turn my pain into my purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's relationships and stuff, when you know it ain't gonna work out and you know you ain't feeling fulfilled and people don't have depth in the relationship and stuff. And it's like it ain't gonna work out at all because a lot of people they cut their emotional light off and they turn on the physical light, but the emotional light always comes off.
That's right. That's right. And I had
A lot of
I had to get
a lot of relationships today, the man, a lot of women they want emotionally available people, but a lot of men ain't gonna give them that at all.
no,
Let's
no,
let's be
because
in a good headspace with the Lord.
that's correct, Dion. Very correct. Absolutely. And you know, for myself, I had to learn how to love myself, Dion. And before I could ask even my wife to love me, I gotta love myself. Before I could ask my wife to even spend time with me, I had to spend time with myself. See, these were things that I had to learn before I got married and even during our marriage. And I'm grateful because I do the work for myself. I've been doing the work. I have a team of doctors, Dion. I have an EMDR therapist. I have a psychiatrist named Dr. Khalik. I have a general therapist counselor named Dr. Mayal. And they also serve as my mentors. See, I knew if I wanted to grow, I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable. They just want to be comfortable.
And that's why society messed up with social media. Because I want to make people uncomfortable, not comfortable, because the minute you get comfortable, you get complacent.
That part.
And we don't need that in society.
That's right.
That's why that's why I talk to people and I'm different and people don't know how to take it because they don't see guys like me very often on this earth. Like even women don't even see guys like me
Yeah.
that are vulnerable, emotional,
Yeah.
and that's here and care about them and listen to them. A
That's right.
lot of women will never get that on earth.
That's right. That's right. You got
That's
it.
why I'm ahead of the game.
That's right. That's right. And we have to be available to ourselves emotionally before we could be emotionally available
Exactly.
to somebody else. And we have to move with the level of emotional intelligence. A lot of folks
Exactly.
move with a level of emotional intelligence. I got people in my own family, you know what I'm saying, who are still learning how to understand emotional intelligence. And it's an opportunity for me to share my insight. I never really tell people what to do. I share my insight. I share my experience. And
Your opinion.
I allow them, or rather I encourage them, if they want to pick up what I'm putting down, great. If they don't want to pick up what I'm putting down, great. I'm good either way because for me, it's about always living my truth, walking in my truth as much as humanly possible, regardless of how uncomfortable, right, it may be for me to walk in my truth. The only way that I look that I'm going to grow, this is just my belief for myself, Dion, is to be uncomfortable, is to go into these spaces, Dion, and to be like, you know what? I'm not so sure about this, but screw it. I'm here for the experience. And more than just what I'm going to be a part of, it's about who I'm going to become, Dion, through the experience. A lot of us don't look, Dion, we tend to count ourselves down and out before we count ourselves up and in, right? And so we tend to quit right at the door of fear. Like, it's like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. It doesn't feel comfortable to me. But that is the exact moment, if you're asking me, Dion, that's the exact moment where I believe we dig in because it's going to be about who I'm going to become through that experience. So if it's fear, if I'm allowing fear to dictate my decisions, well, then, Dion, I'm going to be stuck a lot. I'm going to be in my way a lot. So to your subscribers, to your supporters and your viewers, I say this: embrace fear because who you are looking to become, chances are it's just on the other side of the decision, the hard decisions that you may have to make. And I say go for it. Nothing to fear here, but fear itself. And I believe that you and I are both bigger than our fears themselves, right?
That's why I always shoot my shot with, man. I don't be cheering at all, man. I go right in. If it don't work out, hey, it's always another one.
That's right. You're right about that. I love your attitude, man. I love your energy around it. I love your outlook. I love the fact that you just went in and got at the interview. I love that. And you're not afraid to ask for what you want. You're like, hey, yo, I want more viewers. I want more subscribers.
Yeah, you know it, man.
There's nothing, and look, there's nothing wrong with that. I like the fact that you know what you want. We just want to be clear. Once we get what we want, what are we going to do with it?
Exactly.
How are we going to make that work for us more so, Dion? I want to give you everything you need from me, and I want you to have everything that you desire from your efforts. We just got to understand, once Dion get what he wants, Dion has to understand, Dion, with great power comes great responsibility. So once you get 10 million, 20 million, 50 million subscribers, we just got to have our plan already set so that Dion knows exactly what we're going to do when we got 5 million subscribers. And then Dion knows exactly what we're going to do when we got 10 million subscribers. And then Dion will know what we're going to do when we got 15 million subscribers. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I hear you. Well said.
And you know this already. Preparation is key. Look at, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly. If you smell good, you look good, you good.
Hey, you smell good, you look good, you feel good, you're going to do good. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, how do you define silence for someone who feels that they have been at the absolute lowest point in life?
How do I
How do you define resilience for someone who is at the lowest point in life?
Thank you for the question. Thank you for repeating the question for me. How do I define that? I define that, well, first of all, I consider myself resilience in its purest form. Real talk. People ask me to describe myself. That is my word, resilience, right? In the phrase resilience in its purest form. The way that I define that is, for myself, is I wasn't built with a quit button. I wasn't built like that. I just don't have it in me to do that. Every time I've been knocked down, I've gotten back up. And no one told me to get back up. It was already in me. It's a belief that I have about myself. It's an understanding that I have about myself. So for anybody who's at the lowest point, number one, change your language, change your life. What does that mean? It's very simple. Our words have energy. Our words have power. If you say it enough times, you're going to believe it. And remember, the brain is not your friend. The brain is there to help you survive. That's it. And the brain can't differentiate between me talking to you, Dion, or me talking to myself. Because all the brain hears is me. The brain don't hear you when you speak to me. The brain hears me when I speak to me or when I speak to you. So we got to be careful with the language that we're using to describe the things or the people in our lives. If we continue to spew and talk rhetoric and negativity, this is what's going to continue to show up around our lives more so than not. If I'm showing love to myself and I'm speaking love to myself and I'm doing all the things I can do to continue to push that narrative of love to myself, then that is what's going to show up around me. So for anyone who is down on their luck, who feels they're down on their luck, who feels they're at the lowest point, they got to ask themselves, Dion, are you really at your lowest point? Or is this an opportunity for you to activate a different part of you? Because a lot of the times, look, if we don't get to the lowest point, Dion, then how are we going to know what the top feels like? You dig what I'm saying? You can't know what the top feels like if we've been to the bottom of something.
Yeah, well, failure is a part of life. If you succeed all the time, you don't know what failure feels like, you know?
Exactly. And we only fail if we quit. So if you at what you're doing, then you're really failing. If anything, you know what's happening, Dion? What's happening is we're learning how to do things a different way. You dig what I'm saying? It's like if your friend is doing something that works for your friend, and your friend's like, "Hey, yo, Dion, try it like this. Do it like
No,
me." And you're like,
no,
"It's not working. It's not
I
working."
ain't smoking that weed. You can smoke weed by yourself.
Right? It's not working for you. So you got to regroup, reassess, and redirect. Regroup, reassess, and redirect. And once you do that, now, Dion, you already have the knowledge of what don't work for you because you talk to your friend. Your friend's like, "Yo, man, try this." You're like, "Nah, I tried it. Doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't hit for me the way it hits for you." So now you have,
Yeah, exactly.
and we're going to take that information and we're going to file that information away. And we're going to say, okay, no failure here. We just have more information on what is not going to work for Dion. And so, again, regroup, redirect, reassess, and then you move onward and upward with your own plan. And that's fine too. So that's what I would say to somebody who feels like they're at the lowest point. They feel like they want to give up on resilience. I say keep going because that is where we find out, I believe, the most about ourselves. That is where we learn the most intimate parts of our character. Absolutely. In the face of adversity.
Well said. And also, I'm gonna get you out on this question because I got another one. I got another person coming on after you. So,
Oh,
uh, how
good.
can an individual bridge the gap between the now and then the one-on-one version of themselves believe themselves you believe they possess?
I would say always give yourself a moment to create a routine in the day, right? You want to bridge the gap with consistency. You want to bridge the gap with clarity and discipline. That's why I talk about routines, whether it's a morning routine, afternoon routine, evening routine, something that keeps you consistently consistent about yourself. Right? I have a routine every morning that keeps me at baseline. I wake up, I do my meditation, I do my yoga, or I'll do like some stretching, and then I'll go to the gym and I'll have my hour and a half full body workout. All of this happens before I even start my day, but that is the start of my day at 3:45 in the morning. That is the beginning. But that first couple of hours, that's me getting me together for me so that I can go perform at my outside world. That's all that's about. A lot of us put a lot of onus on the world outside of us, but what we often forget about is ourselves because we're too busy trying to check this box or check that box, or the boss needs this or the boss needs that. So we got to be careful that we don't give up too much of ourselves, especially don't give up so much of ourselves that when the day is over, we give ourselves the crumbs of what's left over of ourselves. So consistency, taking that time, being intentional, taking the time for you to get you right, to meet your day at baseline. That's how you can bridge the gap right there.
I was gonna say I want the full course meal. Don't give me no crumbs at all. They ain't gonna fill me up.
Yes, you're right. We want the full course meal, Dion. We
Exactly.
don't, right? We don't want to give ourselves what's left over at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You want to give yourself, and in fact, in the morning, in the early mornings, this is when our brain is most productive. This is when we are, as humans, the most productive, right? So
Yeah.
I'd rather give myself that optimum version of me at the beginning of the day. Again, my day begins at 3:45 in the morning. So by the time I get to 7 o'clock, Dion, I have given myself 2 to 2.5 hours of myself loving on me in the gym, meditating, stretching. So by the time I come out and get ready to get to, say, an interview or get ready to start my day, check an email, make a phone call, I am at my baseline. I am ready to go. I don't go into my day looking for the outside world to validate myself. I validate me before I engage with the outside world. And I do this.
Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure having you on, Tavares. Maybe I'll have you on a couple weeks, maybe from now, because I couldn't even get all my questions in because I got because of the Zoom stuff, man. The Zoom missed in the beginning.
I'll come back. Don't even trip. I'll come. I'm happy to
Okay.
I like your.
And I want one of those shirts too, man.
I'll get you a shirt. I'll shoot you a shirt.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta send me some gear after this, man.
Send me your address, Dion.
All right, man. You my guy now, Tavares, man. You my guy.
You my guy too, man. Dion, I love the show. If y'all listening right now, y'all make sure y'all stay locked on to Dion's podcast. When he comes on, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button every single time. He is the guy.
Exactly. Listen to this man, everybody. Listen to this man. You know what he's talking about.
Dion, you're great. You're a great host. Thank you for having me on today. This has been an honor, truly.
All right, I gotta go to my next. Oh, let me see. Dang it.
I got you, buddy.